Good evening and welcome to NEWSBREAK Live. I'm Hiba Samad. Thanks so much for joining us. A night dedicated to connecting law enforcement with the community is returning soon. The Torrance Police Department announced it will be participating in America's Night Out Against Crime on Tuesday, August 6th once again. From 5 to 9 p.m., local neighborhood watch groups plan to host block parties for community members, city officials, and local law enforcement. In its 36th anniversary, National Night Out has proven to promote neighborhood spirit and police community partnerships. For more information about the national event, head to natw.org. A local business celebrated its birthday by giving back. Pump It Up in Torrance hosted a blood drive with the American Red Cross yesterday on its 15th birthday. The location in Torrance has been in the city for 6 years, and they turned this celebration into much more. 20 people came out to donate, and Pump It Up in Torrance hosts a blood drive every year.
Whole blood 20 units can save up to 60 lives because it's separated into components. Plasma, platelets, and red cells. So one person could get all three, or it could go to 3 different people.
South Bay has been so great to us that we wanted to give back on our birthday, so we invited the American Red Cross here to do a blood drive.
Owners received a free jump pass. The business is a place for families to have indoor inflatable, safe fun while also allowing people to host children's parties in a private, safe, and clean environment. It's been so popular that by 2002, it became a franchise. The Torrance location is at 1780 Oak Street. Now, as the weather continues to warm up, many of you may be stopping by Wilson Park to cool down at its splash pad. Well, Community Services Department officials are asking the community to be patient with the filtration system. They say with more people using the splash pad, the system is cleaning the water more frequently. During this time, it may not start up for 30 to 45 minutes until it recalibrates for the next users, making sure it's safe and the best quality of water. The splash pad is designed to automatically shut down when the pH level is off, but will be fully functional after the cleaning process. The pH level sometimes is disrupted when debris goes into the filtration system, ranging from sunscreen to diaper leaks. Staff are reviewing the email notice app that alerts staff members as to when the splash pad filtration system goes down, so they can post a sign to notify users. The splash pad opened last year in October and has a state-of-the-art filtration system that maintains water quality and uses UV technology that serves to disinfect the water. The splash pad is open from 10 a.m. to dusk. Nearly 400 students will be taking part in the first ever West Coast Nerdling SoCal coming up this Thursday. Even though registration is closed for Torrance students, teachers from across the South Bay can still register for Educator Day on Friday. The camp is free for Torrance Unified School District students and brings together youth literature authors, illustrators, librarians, and educators for a day full of ideas and a shared love of all things books. There'll be interactive workshops all day at Torrance High School. If you would like to sign up for the camp, go to eventbrite.com and search for the event. Delano Fashion Center is listed as the top retail center. The Los Angeles Business Journal named Delano Fashion Center as #1 out of 12 retail centers in the region. It was ranked by its gross leasable area, which is nearly 2.5 million square feet of space. Delano has 240 stores and first opened in 1975. The Los Angeles Business Journal is a weekly newspaper and online news source in Los Angeles. A local organization that helps people land jobs received a large grant to grow its programs recently. The United States Department of Labor awarded a $12 million grant to West Los Angeles College and the South Bay Workforce Investment Board Collaborative. It's part of a national effort to prepare and place 5,000 workers into pre-apprenticeship and apprenticeship roles in advanced manufacturing with a focus on the aerospace and bioscience industries over the next 4 years. The grant was only one awarded to the California applicant. Locally, they hope to place nearly 1,500 people, and the SBWIB will be directly responsible for generating awareness about the national program called Growing Advanced Manufacturing Apprentices Across America. America. Executive Director Jan Vogel from SWIB says the award reflects the effectiveness of the apprenticeship programs they currently have in the South Bay area. The organization operates 4 one-stop business and career centers within the South Bay service area. All employment services provided are free to the public. To learn more about the companies and participants interested in the programs, contact Deborah Shepard at 310-970-7700. A popular fast food pizza chain rolls out healthier options to its customers today. If you stop by Blaze Pizza, you can indulge in a slice with a keto or cauliflower crust. It marks the first national chain to launch this type of pizza. Blaze Pizza, recognized as the world leader in fast artisanal pizza, says its keto crust has just 6 grams of net carbs. Both new crusts are gluten-free and are made with real ingredients. The chain also launched a new line of life mode pizzas that include keto, protein, vegetarian, and vegan, but it's exclusive through its mobile app and online. But if you want to stick to the original, Blaze is still going to be offering customers its original and high-rise dough made from scratch. It was also recently named the #1 brand of the year in the fast casual top 100. There are 333 restaurants, with 1 located at the Delano Fashion Center. You may soon see tents going up at the Delano Fashion Center as a one-of-a-kind experience is coming back to Torrance. Circus Vargas will be setting up at the Delano Fashion Center for its shows that will take place from July 25th through August 5th. It marks Circus Vargas' 50th anniversary. The shows are 2 hours with non-stop action and adventure. The circus will pay homage to the golden era of circus in America and takes spectators through circus history and tradition. They'll be showcasing death-defying acrobats, daredevils, aerialists, motorcycles, and much more. For tickets, go to circusvargas.com. If you're a Marvel fan, there's a tour that may be stopping by near you, but for South Bay residents, you won't have to go too far. Marvel Studios' Avengers Endgame directors are kicking off a tour to thank moviegoers for their support over the years. They'll travel the country on a tour called We Love You 3000, kicking off in just a few days. They will make a stop at the Torrance Best Buy on August 13th. There'll be special guests from Marvel Studios and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. To find more details, go to marvel.com. Now let's get to the weather. Today there was a high of 79 degrees with an expected low of 64 degrees tonight. Then tomorrow there'll be the same temperatures, but on Thursday you can expect a cool down as the high will be 70 degrees. 50 years ago today was a historic moment in American history as millions were glued to the TV to watch an incredible moment.
5, 4, 3.
In 1969, America launched Apollo 11, the first mission to land on the moon. People took to social media to remember the day when 3 astronauts boarded a spacecraft and set on a mission. There were commemorative events across the country, including one with 88-year-old Michael Collins, one of the surviving crew members on that mission. He visited Florida's Kennedy Space Center. Eye products from your local CVS are being recalled. Officials say Altair Pharmaceuticals, Inc. is pulling CVS health-branded products off the shelves. This includes over-the-counter eye drops and ointments. According to the Food and Drug Administration, there are 30 different products in various lots included. The recall comes after concerns the products may not be sterile. The company says it's a precautionary measure and they haven't received any reports. If you have questions, you can call the Altair Pharmaceuticals, Inc. at the number you see on the screen. For the list of products recalled, go to fda.gov. Now let's get to the events you won't want to miss this week. On Thursday, you can enjoy a tradition in downtown Torrance and attend Rock Around the Block from 5 to 8 p.m. There'll be vintage cars to check out, music, many contests, and of course, the In-N-Out Burger Wagon will return. The event starts at the Torrance Historical Society and Museum. Then you can enjoy some tunes from the Woody and the Longboards at the second Concerts in the Park series hosted by the city. It takes place this Saturday at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Well, in just 2 minutes, Nedan Rambo, the disaster program manager from the American Red Cross, will get you prepared for the big one. We'll be back in just a few.
Every year, humans habitually gather for what they call the summer barbecue. Unfortunately, leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire. Now, could it be?
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
By George, it's Smokey Bear. These friends are going to learn a thing or two about extinguishing hot coals. Indeed, it looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good stir. Next, another long quenching drink for the hot coals. Chilling. And finally, a close feel to confirm they're safe to leave. Smokey has this mastered.
Cool? Okay.
Bang on, Smokey.
Hey, Smokey! Catch! Oh. My bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to the second half of NewsBreak Live. Joining me is Nedan Rambo, who is the disaster program manager from the American Red Cross. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Hibbo.
I know you and your team have been really busy as we've been recently feeling many trembles, and the American Red Cross has been in the communities affected by these earthquakes. So tell me, how have you guys been involved in the community of Ridgecrest over the past few weeks?
Well, we've been really busy opening up shelters. Our primary goal is to make sure that people who have been displaced by disasters have a safe place to go, a place where they can stay informed with what's happening and essentially just be safe. So we've opened up shelters. We've also got some of our vehicles going around providing assistance. We're giving out food, water, also cleaning supplies, anything that we can, trying to find out who's affected and who needs us and where, and really just trying to make sure there's that place that people can go.
There was an earthquake earlier today up north, and with more earthquakes happening, tell me, what are some common ways people are just not prepared?
Well, there's two things really. One is people, going back to old things they had heard from a long time ago. There's an earthquake, I better run outside, or I better run under a doorway, or something like that, or that there's an earthquake time of day. Which things that aren't really true. And I think the other one is just not really having a concrete plan. It's really important to think, if something were to happen right now, and all of the stores were closed, and you couldn't really drive very far because the roads were down, how long would you, your family, and all of your pets be able to live off the things inside of your house? And, if you can't get for very long, it's a really good idea to start thinking, what sort of things can I have here to make sure that my family would be able to stay inside of our home and be safe and have enough food and water and everything else that we need for a while.
Before we get into more about preparedness, about the kits and what you should have, if and when an earthquake hits, what actions should people take depending on where they are? I know you just mentioned don't run out. There's, you always hear the myth, stand underneath a doorway, but that's not true.
Right. So the thing is, people generally like to think of a safety spot somewhere inside of their home. But the fact is, trying to run around during an earthquake, it's like trying to run in a bounce house, except it's not a soft ground. It's rock hard and it breaks bones. You can't run very far. You're going to need to find something in your immediate vicinity where you can go. So generally, you want to think of every room inside of your house. If an earthquake happened while I'm in this room, where can I go in this room that would be safe? And you essentially want to get under something sturdy, and you want to protect your head and neck. The big thing is you want to make sure that if things are falling, nothing really hits your spine and things don't hit your neck or your head.
So drop, cover, and hold on, right?
Absolutely. Drop, cover, get underneath something and hold on. Hold on to it. Make sure that it doesn't shake away during the earthquake.
So the American Red Cross urges people to be prepared in 3 easy steps. What are those?
So you want to build a kit, you want to make a plan, and be informed. Those are the 3 basic steps. You know, having the kit inside of your house is going to be critically important because you want to make sure that you have food, you have water, you have medicine, a radio. You want to make sure you have all those basic needs, but also having a plan with your family. You want to make sure that when the disaster hits, that's not the first time you and your family are thinking about what are we going to do if we can't go home. If you have children that go out to school, if they're coming back and there's a blockade, they can't get onto their block, do they know where to go? If you are someplace and because of a disaster, the phones aren't working, you're not able to, reach your loved ones, do you know of someone else that you can call that's out of state? Do you have, have you just thought about this? And really, lastly, is being informed, making sure you know about, weather updates, possible impending disasters, and where to go afterward, and just, CPR training, things like that. All of those things are really important.
Can you reiterate a little bit more about the kits and what are some must-have items in those kits?
Absolutely. So inside of your kits, I think I mentioned water first, and water is one of the big concerns. If there's a really nasty earthquake here, we might not have running water. So making sure that you have enough water for everyone inside of your house, including your pets, because a lot of people don't think about their pets in their plan. Food is really important as well. Sometimes emergency blankets, glow sticks. Glow sticks may seem silly, but in the middle of the night, if there is no power and you don't have street lights, it can get very dark. So having something that can create light for you at night. That's not an open flame. There's no chance of it starting another fire or something. So having a glow stick's important. Flashlights, radios. I think all those things are going to be really important to have and really useful.
And how can people prepare their homes as far as maybe if they have paintings on their walls or those type of things?
So you want to think about getting things strapped down. If you have a lot of figurines and things, you might want to consider maybe looking at earthquake putty or something that can maybe hold it in place. When an earthquake hits, and if it's really bad, things are going to fly all over the place. So anything you can do to get stuff secured, making sure that you have a disaster kit. One thing that's really helpful is to have a pair of walking shoes, maybe a flashlight, and if you need glasses to get around, to have a pair of glasses in a little bedside kit that's tied to the post of your bed. That way, if something happens in the middle of the night, there's broken glass on the floor, you'll have shoes there, you'll have a light source there, and if you need your glasses to see around, your contact lenses might be missing, you'll have those glasses that you can use.
When an earthquake hits, I know many of us weren't expecting 2 large ones to hit recently. Many people panic. So what are some words of advice for people who may be prepared, but when something like that happens, they kind of panic and they don't know what to do? What are the steps people should take if an earthquake hits?
So everyone reacts differently to being in the middle of that disaster. What I'd advise is to really think about the steps, focus on making that plan, and then go over it in your head again and again. And when something does happen, stop, take a deep breath, take 2 deep breaths, really, and try to calm yourself down, then fall back to that plan. Think, we've thought about this, I planned for this, what is the plan, where do I go from here?
I know you've mentioned pets throughout the segment, but let's talk a little bit more about that. So what kind of items, and many times people forget about their pets. I know you were mentioning that sometimes when an earthquake happens, people can't bring their pets to a shelter or certain places. So what are some plans that they need to keep in mind?
Right. So with your pets, we are at the Red Cross shelters. We are allowing people in with their small pets. We have been working with Current Humane Society, and they're actually taking on some of the larger pets. They even brought out a trailer where people can sort of keep their pets at night when they go to sleep, and they can come and get them out during the day. Your pets are a member of your family. You definitely want to count them when you're making your plan. So I would say food is really important. If your pets or family members require medication, that's also going to be really critical. You also want to think about having leashes inside that disaster kit, or a go bag. You want to also maybe a collapsible bowl that you can fill up with water. And maybe even if you can, a cage, maybe a portable cage, because that also makes it easier to get into different places and shelters and things if you have a cage that's available.
I know we've been talking about earthquakes, but here in the Southern California region, as an American Red Cross team member, talk to me about what other types of disasters should we really be prepared for?
Well, in Southern California, there's a number of things that could happen. Earthquakes are a big one. Wildfires happen. There are floods, mudslides, things like that. One of the other really big ones that people don't think about all the time are house fires. Just regular run-of-the-mill house fires. And we don't always see it on the news, but for that family, they've lost everything as a result of that fire. And house fires every year, they end up doing more damage and killing more people than any other disaster. So being ready for things like that, those are the things you want to be thinking about: floods, wildfires, earthquakes, and just general house fires.
And I know the American Red Cross, and for many people, when there's an emergency, you guys are always there to support and help. But what are the services that are offered to the community with your organization?
Well, we're really big on getting people prepared. So we offer free preparedness classes to anybody who would like them. Get in touch with your local Red Cross office. You can also call in to 1-800-RED-CROSS. We come out, we'll do trainings for free. We do CPR and first aid trainings. We also have classes that are designed for children. We have ones that we do in elementary schools. So there's a number of different classes that we offer. We also try to respond to local disasters. People generally see us at the major earthquakes and hurricanes, but any minor disaster, if somebody is displaced by some sort of disaster, the local Red Cross will come out to help that family. So we do a lot of immediate assistance and a lot of training, and we also do blood drives, trying to make sure that we have blood at our local hospitals and things. So our main goal is really getting people prepared, saving lives, making folks safer.
And speaking about safety, going back to earthquakes, what kind of professionals can people call out to come to your home to make sure your home is safe, or if there's any safety measures that need to be taken?
So when it comes to earthquakes, you want to definitely talk to, basically housing is going to be going out, and they're going to take a look at all the different homes that were affected by the disaster. Whenever there's an earthquake, you want to make sure that where you're going is safe. I know that it can be really tempting to want to immediately head back home right after something has happened. But the fact is, you want to make sure that your house is safe and stable for you and your family. So really you want to talk to the city, you want to talk to housing. They're going to be doing that sort of thing. You also want to make sure that if you had to cut off your gas or your water, another really important thing to know how to do ahead of time, where's your shutoff valve for your gas and water? You might be ending up working with utilities to make sure that those can get turned back on.
These have been great tips. Is there anything else you'd like to add in regards to earthquake preparedness? I know you and your team have been dealing with this for weeks now. So if there's any tips that people can walk away with during this segment, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'd say some of the biggest successes are people who are, they're getting ready and they talk to their neighbors, and people who have been coming together. So really, we're all helping each other out. Just be sure that you have a plan and you think about these things, and you and your family are prepared. And if you'd and if you're seeing what's happening and you want to make a bigger difference, there's always room. We always need more volunteers. There's always people, if you can't give anything else, if you can give your time, we always are looking for folks to go out there and help people.
Thank you so much for your time. Have a great night.
Thank you.
And of course, you can go to redcross.org/LA for more information. You can also call the 1-800-RED Cross. You can donate, volunteer, and give blood, as Nedan mentioned. Well, that does it for NewsBreak Live. If you ever have news or video that you'd like to share, please email us at newsbreak@torranceca.gov. Also, if you missed any portion of the show, you can catch it all on Torrance City Cable's YouTube page. Have a great night.